Hello, on this video, I'm going to talk about C# console.write and console.writeline. So they basically do very similar thing. The only thing is that this one here will write and will not include a new line for you, and this one here will include a new line. So let me run this so you can see the difference. So the first one wrote banana, and it did not include a carriage return or a new line, and the second one did include. So this one here is missing the new line, and this one here already has the new line at the end. So that's the only difference between them. So if I run the program again, now that I put a new line at the right, you will actually write in two lines. Now, if I put a new line here, it will write now two new lines for me. So now I have extra space right here, extra new line. So most of the times I just use writeline. All right, so let's take a look on the writeline. Whatever you put it right here in this function will be written on your console whenever you run the program. And you can put anything you want to put it here. Anything, numbers, letters, and anything, as long as it comes in double quotes. So if it comes in double quotes, it will write regardless of whatever it is, because it thinks everything here is a single string. So there it is. It thinks this whole thing is one single string. Now I can also write a single letter if you want to. And it prints the single letter just fine. And you can also put spaces here, and spaces, and another X. And that will print exactly what you pass as a parameter for the function. So this is the function, and whatever you pass into the function is a parameter. So the parameter I'm passing is space, 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 a letter, space, space, and letter again. Now you can do a little bit more if you want to. Like I did before, you can put a new line here. So then X and X will be in different lines. So let me put a letter A here instead, so you see two different lines. So now it prints in two different lines. You can also put a tab right here instead of a space. And remember, every time you put a backward slash, that means this is a special character. It will not behave as the letter T. So this will behave as a tab, as a vertical tab. So if I run this guy now, you're gonna notice that right here, there's a vertical tab. So this is a new line, this is a vertical tab. All right, so let's go a little further on this. So you can also declare variable. So I'm gonna declare a variable here called string name equals grievous. So that's the string name. And right now, this is printing what's called a literal constant. In other words, whatever you put it here, it gets printed. But I want to pass now the name of the variable. So now, when I pass the name of the variable, I'm not putting between double quotes. So if I run the program, it will print grievous. Now, just in case if you make a mistake and you print the name within parentheses, it will now print name instead of printing grievous. Why is that? Because it treats this value here as a literal constant and not as a variable. So whatever comes in double quotes is a literal constant. Whatever comes without quotes, it treats as a variable. Now, what happens if you have more than one variable? So I'm going to have here a string age, and the age is 21. So now what if I want to print the name and the age? It's very easy. You just put a plus sign here and then put the age. Now, if I run this, it shows me the name and the age, but it's kind of ugly. So in order to make it a little bit beautiful, I can put some literal constants here. So name plus some spaces, and then age plus age. Now if I run this program, I get the name and the age. So this is in a better formatted way. However, this is not the recommended way. So whenever you have more than one variable and whenever you have text with it, instead of doing the concatenation, which is not the recommended way, you should be using the interpolation. So for that, I'm going to do a console.writeline, and then I'm going to start building the interpolation here. So first I'm going to put a $sign, and then I'm going to put the double quotes. So that's how I start building the interpolation. And then inside here, I'm going to put name. And then I'm going to put the name of the variable. So, however, if I just put name here, you just print the actual name instead of grievous. So if I run this program as is, it just prints name. But remember, this is special. So if I want this value to become a value instead of literal constants, I'm just going to put that between curly braces. And now if I run this, I actually get the value of name instead of a literal constant. And you can keep on writing this, comma, age equals the age. So all you have to do in order to insert the actual variable here is to put this in between curly braces. So now when I run it, I get the whole information that I wanted, and I do this in a better way. So this works. It's not really recommended because it's too many concatenation. This one here is a more elegant way to do it, and it's a little bit faster as well. The last way to do this is, instead of passing variables here, I'm going to press a number, so 0. And here I'm going to pass number 1. That will be the actual index. However, I need to pass the values. So the values here will be name, comma, age. So this is another way to do the same work. So you know what? Let me go back, and I'm going to maintain the way it was before. And then I'm going to print in another way. So I'm going to say recommended way. And this is another way. Also good. So this works and this works. The number here is the index of whatever sequence of values you're going to put here. So the first value, the index is 0, and the second value, the index is 1. So this does the same job as this one here. So if I run this program, and we have a problem, it's not printing correctly because it should be printing exactly the same thing, but it's not. So I am doing something wrong right here. I need to delete the $sign. So this way of printing does not need the $sign. This one here needs the $sign. All right, so I'm gonna run again. And now I get exactly the same results here in the top. Beautiful. Now I wanna go one step farther here. So let's say I have another variable called city. And then I'm gonna put city right here. Now if I run this, then age is gonna be city now, because this is index 0, index 1, index 2. So I run this guy again, and I get age equals Seattle. So if I wanna fix this, I wanna put number 2 here, because now age is index 2. So name is index 0, city is index 1, and age is index 2. Now if I run this again, I get the correct output. Now, city is not needed here on this string just because it's not being printed at all. However, I put it there just to show you that the sequence here matters and the index matters. So this way here is the recommended way, and it's a little easier than the other ways. Again, this is also good. Don't do this. This works. It's not really elegant. All right, so that's all for this video. Thanks for watching.